Okay, Erev Tov, everybody. Today we're going to pretend we're in yeshiva, and we're going to get a little analytical. We're going to give a shiur in halacha, but from the top to the bottom. Of course, pertaining to Hanukah, which begins tonight. I'm here in the Gemara, Masechet Shabbat, of Kaf Aleph Amud Bet. Famous Gemara, many of us know it already. Tanu Rabbanan, Mitzvat Hanukah, Ner Ish Ubeto. The mitzvah of Hanukah is a candle for a person and his household. A very vague language, doesn't make much sense. So Rashi says, what does that mean? Ner Ish Ubeto. Ner Echad Bechol Laila. One candle per night. Ve'ish ve'kol bnei beto sagiluhu b'ner echad. And the man and his entire household, it's enough to light one candle. Meaning the bare minimum to fulfill the mitzvah of Hanukah is to light one candle per night. Tonight, one candle. Tomorrow, one candle. Third day, one candle. One candle. You fulfill the mitzvah. Okay? That is the base level of the mitzvah. Ve'amehadrin. A little bit nicer, more mehudar. Says the Gemara, Ner lekol echad ve'echad. You light a candle for every person that is in the house. So if you are a house of three, so tonight you're going to light 3 candles. Tomorrow you're going to light 3 candles. Day 3 you're going to light 3 candles, and day 4 all the way till day 8. That's mehadrin. That's second level, better than the base level. You're only lighting 1. Second level, 1 per each member. Yeah. Ve'hamehadrin min hamehadrin, but the best of the best, the most beautiful is machloket. Bet Shammai omrim. Bet Shammai says Yom Rishon madlik shemona mikan ve'elach pochet ve'olech. First day you light 8, and then every day you decrease 1. So tonight will be 8, tomorrow will be 7, and 6 all the way down to 1. Ubet Hillel omrim. Bet Hillel says Yom Rishon madlik achat. Yom Rishon you light 1. Mikan ve'elach mosif ve'olech. Tomorrow, we will add 1. It will be 2, and then 3, and then 4, all the way to 8. What's the reason for Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel? Amar Ula says, Pliga bat re amora'eh b'ma'araba. 2 rabbis in the West argue to the reason. Rabbi Yossi bar Rabin and Rabbi Yossi bar Zebida. Why Bet Shammai says 8 to 1, and Bet Hillel says 1 to 8. Had amar ta'amad de Bet Shammai. One says the reason of Bet Shammai is, Keneged yamim hanichnasim. Because we are lighting corresponding to the days that are yet to come. So there's still 8 days of Hanukah left, starting right now. So we will light 8 candles. That's what we would say. V'ta'amad de Bet Hillel, and the reason of Bet Hillel, keneged yamim hayotzim. How many days have passed? So once we light tonight, 1 day has passed. Tomorrow we're going to light 2 because 2 days have passed. And then at the end we light 8 because 8 days have passed. Okay, that's one explanation. The second explanation is probably more popular among the Chachamim, or the people that quote. Chad amar ta'amad de Bet Shammai keneged pareh hechag. That the Chanukah candles correspond to the bulls that are offered on the holiday of Chag. The holiday of Chag is the holiday of Sukkot. Okay? And if you open up Parashat Pinchas, you will find there are all the korbanot that are brought on the holidays. And on the first day of Sukkot, there are 13 bulls plus others. And then the second day of Sukkot are 12 bulls, and then 11 bulls, and as the holiday goes on, less and less bulls. So just like you're decreasing the amount of bulls on Sukkot, we are also decreasing the amount of light on Chanukah, according to Bet Shammai. And what about Bet Hillel? Tamad Bet Hillel, famous line, Ma'alin ba'kodesh ve'en moridin. We go up in Kedusha, we always go up in holiness, and we don't go down in holiness. Light represents Kedusha, so we're going to start with 1, and we're going to make our way up to 8. This is the piece of Gemara that I wanted to quote. The question that we have is, on this highest level of Mehadrin, Min HaMehadrin, which we said, Bet Shammai says 8 to 1, and Bet Hillel holds 1 to 8. How many people are lighting? How many people are lighting in this house? We know that it's either 8 to 1 or 1 to 8. We follow Bet Hillel, so it's 1 to 8. But how many people are lighting? So for that, we need an interpretation on what Mehadrin Min HaMehadrin is. So I take you to Tosafot. Tosafot here in the Gemara says, Mehadrin Min HaMehadrin. Nire leri. It seems to, the Ri was one of the Baalei Tosfot. The Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel, both of them, Lokai mi ela aner ish ubeto. it must be talking about the candle, the lighting that is one man per household. Sheken yesh yoter hidur. There is more hidur, there is more beauty when it's lit one per house. De'ika hekera, because there is recognition on how many candles are lit, on what day it is. Keshemosif veholech o mechaser, whether you're adding or whether you're decreasing. Shehu keneged yamim hanichnasim o hayotzim. Makes sense. One per house. Avalimose ner lekol echad. But if you are lighting candles for every single person that is in the home, afilu yosif mikan ve'elech leka hekera. Even as you're adding, there's no recognition as to what day it is, because you'll see a bunch of candles around. Because there's so many people at home, you're not going to be able to figure out what day it is, so there's no heker. So according to Tosafot, that the way to fulfill mehadrin mina mehadrin, whether you follow Bet Shammai or Bet Hillel, and we know we follow Bet Hillel, is to have one Hanukah in the home. That's what you have to do according to Tosafot. He was one of the Rishonim who lived in France. I take you to the Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimon, the Rishon that lived in Spain. And the Rambam quotes here in the 4th chapter of Ilchot Megillah v'Hanukah, the first halakha. The Rambam is going to quote all the 3 opinions in the Gemara from the base all the way up. Kama nerot hu madlik b'Hanukah. How many candles do we light? Mitzvata, sheyeh kol bait v'bait madlik ner echad. So again, he quotes the first opinion, the basic one first. All you need is one candle. One candle tonight, one candle tomorrow, and so on. Ben shayu anshe habayit merubin, ben shelo haya bo ela adam echad. Whether you have 20 people in your home or one, makes no difference, one candle. Basic mitzvah. Now, ve'ame'aderet ha-mitzvah. But if you want to be a little bit better, madlik nerot keminyan anshe habayit. Then you light the amount of candles corresponding to the amount of people you have in your house. So again, if you have 3 people in your home, 3 tonight, 3 tomorrow, 3 day 3, 3 day 4, so on and so forth. Neler kol echad ve'echad, ben anashim, ben nashim, doesn't matter, men or women. Ve'hame'ader yater. This is his highest level. Do you want to make it extremely mehudar? Yater hazeh ve'oseh mitzvah min hamubchar, to make the mitzvah the best. Madlik ner lekol echad ve'echad balayla rishon. That you light a candle for every person in the home. Umosif ve'olech bekol layla v'layla echad. And then you keep on adding. Keitzad, he says, how so? Harei shayu anshe habayit asara. If you have 10 people living at your house, balayla rishon madlik asara nerot. You light 10. You're going to light 10 ones. Ubelel sheni esrim. And tomorrow you're going to light 20. Ubelel shlishi shloshim. Ad shnimsa madlik belel shmini shmonim. And by the time you get to day 8, you're lighting 80. Now that's the Rambam says that this is the way you should do it. Now, what's the problem? What's the problem here? The obvious problem. I'll tell you the obvious problem. The Baal Tosafot was from France. It was Rashi's grandson. Yes. Tosafot were Ashkenazim. They were from France. And the Rambam was Sepharadim. Now, if I ask you, this is a Keilah of Sepharadim, which one do we follow? Tosafot or Rambam? What do we follow with Hanukah based on what I quoted? All right, very good. It is very clear. It is very clear that we are following Tosafot's opinion on what we do in our home, which is one Hanukiyah per house, and the Ashkenazim are following what the Rambam says, which is from Sfarad. Why do we do so? I don't have an answer why we do so. I do know why we do so, because Shulchan Aruch says. What is strange is that the Shulchan Aruch, who is codifying the law, and he always codified the law from the Rishonim, such as the Rambam, the Rif, the Rosh, sometimes Tosafot, the Shulchan Aruch says as follows. Kama, here, Tafresh Ayin Aleph, Kama nerot madlik. How many candles do we light? Balayla Rishon madlik echad. We light one candle tonight. Mikan va'elach mosif ve'olech echad bekol layla. One per night. Ad shebelel harishon, lel acharon, yiyu shmona, va'afilu im rabim bnei habayit lo yadlik yoter. And even if you have 20 people in your house, you don't light more than one candle tonight. That is it. So Shulchan Aruch is quoting Tosafot. He says that is the halacha. It is strange and odd that he is following the Rishon of the Ashkenazim. Comes the Ramah of Moshe Iserlis from Krakow, Poland, and he says, V'yes omrim, and those who say, De kol echad mi bnei habayit yadlik, v'chen haminhag pashut. Everybody in the house has to light their own hanukiyah, and that is the minhag that we have in our countries. V'yizaharu litem kol echad ve'echad nerotav b'makom yuchad. Just make sure that they have their particular hanukiyah in their own specific place. Kedesh yeh heker. So there's a recognition, kama nerot madlikin. So the Ramah is actually quoting the Rambam, and how the Rambam defines the Mehadrim min Mehadrim, which is, the Rambam is a Sephardic Rishon, and is being quoted by the Ashkenazi Posek, and the Sephardi Posek, Shulchan Aruch, is quoting Tosafot, which is very, very odd that this is one of the few times that indeed this happens. However, it goes without, I should mention that the next halacha in the Rambam, it's a machloket what the Rambam here meant, but the next halacha in the Rambam will end with this. He writes, Minhag pashut bechol arenu bisfarad. It is a minhag in our cities of Sfarad, sheyiyu kol anshe habayit madlikin ner echad balayla rishon. Everybody would light one candle on the first night, umosifim ve'olchin, and you will keep on adding bechol layla, ad shenimsa madlik belesh shmini, shmona nerot, until 8th day you will light 8. Ben shehayu anshe habayit merubin, ben shehaya adam echad. Whether there was many people in the house or one. Now this is this halacha is interpreted in many different ways. He seems to be contradicting what he said in the first halacha. So maybe he's saying that even though the best of the best is that everybody lights their own Hanukiyah, but in our cities in Spain, that's not the minhag. The minhag is to light one Hanukiyah per household, and maybe that's why the Shulchan Aruch had enough of a reason to choose that as the halacha, because he has the Rambam here saying that was the minhag in Spain, and also Tosfot says that should be done. But others interpret that Rambam and saying, no, it's not really a contradiction to what he said earlier, because if you pay attention to his words carefully, sheyu kol anshe habayit madlikin ner echad. That could be translated that everyone in the house lights one. But then the last statement doesn't really make much sense. So there's a lot of interpretation on that last halakha of the Rambam. But nevertheless, I should always stress that we Sepharadim, we got to stick to our halachot. And I know sometimes we feel, let's get the kids to light their own, and they made their own beautiful ones in school, and I understand and I get it. But we Sepharadim, that is the halakha, like Shulchan Aruch quotes. It is one tonight, and that's it. And no matter how many people you have in your home, that's how many we light. And of course, later on, as the nights go on, if the kids want to participate in actually lighting, they can do that. That's not a problem. But it should be one Hanukiyah. And our brothers Ashkenazim, they will be buying lots of candles over the course of this holiday, because they have lots of Hanukiyot to light for each member of their household, especially if they are over the age of bar bat mitzvah, but many do as well, even kids that are younger with that. So that is the source. That is how the halacha works from the Gemara right until down Shulchan Aruch. And wishing everybody a Hanukah Sameach.